Did you start? Well, yeah, I did. Hey guys, Diane here, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of The Yellow Sign. I have a lot to say about this book, so stick around and we'll get to it. Okay, so for a quick synopsis, The Yellow Sign is about an FBI agent, and she goes undercover. So she infiltrates a cult. It starts out she infiltrates a cult, and she's almost sacrificed in this cult. Didn't go very well. And fast forward about 6 months, she's trying to rebuild her life. She's trying to get back to normal after, this horrendous thing just happened to her. So, 6 months later, one of her friends that she was in the army with goes missing. And the last place he was seen was the Yellow College. And as you can tell from the name, it is a cult. And so she is called back in, and she's asked to go see if she can find him, go see, if he's there on his own, if he's there because he wants to be, or if something happened. So she goes and she infiltrates, or she's, infiltrating this next cult. And it just gets crazy from there. It goes on to just some wild things. I don't want to say too much. This book is relatively short, so, I don't want to give away too much, just so that way it's more fun the less you know. Okay, so for the length and pacing in this book is about 200 pages, and the length kind of coincides with the pacing. It's pretty fast. It's relatively like everything in the book happens relatively quickly. So you have the first infiltration of the cult, and then about 6 months later, she does the second one, and everything happens pretty quickly. So it is it's, to me, it's more of a fast paced read. I like a slow burn. So sometimes when I say, oh, that was pretty fast paced, someone else may say, oh, that was really slow. So in my opinion, I felt like it was pretty fast paced. There were a few parts where I felt like it lulled just a tiny bit. Like I said, it's a pretty short book, so there's not a lot of time for it to kind of lull, but I felt like the length and the pacing was pretty good, especially for a book that size. Okay, so now we're moving on to character development. And there's other characters, but we have our main character, and she is a FBI agent. She was in the army, and she, to put it plainly, you could tell she was written by a man. Not to say that a man can't write a likable or well-rounded female character, but it just felt like some of the things like she would do and say didn't fit who she was explained to be. It felt like she was like a frat guy to me, almost. Like it just didn't. I felt like she was like cheated almost. Like, how when you read those books and it's the woman detective, she can't smile, she can't have fun, she only has a personality every other Tuesday. Like, it doesn't make, like, why can she not, she can't be more than one thing. She can't be a detective and a friend. She can't have a good time. She can't be, all these other things, which, it's funny because when you have a man detective, he's always married, he's always a dad, he may not be very good at it, but you know what I mean? I just feel like when there's a woman detective, it's the same one. You could copy and paste it in any movie, show, or like book. Can we get a little, creative with it? I don't know. So yeah, was she likable? Not really. I didn't really like her. I did kind of care like what happened to her. Some of the other characters in the book, maybe because it was a shorter book, I felt like I didn't really get to really know anybody before it was kind of moving on to something else. You have these characters that are, okay, you have the cult leader, you have the the person in the cult, it was just very almost like, okay, copy and paste, like, okay, that's the cult leader, and it's a typical cult leader. That's the person in the cult, and that's a typical, cultist or whatever they're called. And it just didn't feel like they had any real, like, they weren't dimensional. It was just like, okay, this is, and to some extent it worked with the book. So it, to some extent, I guess that is part of a cult, that you kind of lose your identity in the cult, so you don't really have much of your own left. So, and that's kind of explained in the book. So, I mean, it's not all, I think some of it is done intentional, but to me, there was a part where I was just like, okay, so you're telling me that's very out of the realm of possibility, but whatever. It is fiction, but you also want it to be somewhat believable. I mean, it is Lovecraftian, and hopefully that's fiction, but it's just, you want to be able to believe the part that's supposed to be believable. You want to think to yourself, I'm so in this, and so, like, some of the things that she would say would kind of take you out of the book and the atmosphere and stuff, just because it was like so stupid. It's like Jack Reacher kind of thing. This is like Tom Cruise. That's kind of what it felt like. Like, this is like a Tom Cruise character put in this book, but you're calling it a woman's name. Like, I don't really know what sense that makes, but anyways, we'll move on to the next section. Okay, so for standout moments, there are a lot of standout moments in this book. Like I said, it's a pretty short book, but it is very expansive, and it's Lovecraftian, like I said earlier. And that's, if you've seen any of my videos, that's one of my most, like, talked about and enjoyed a theme of a book, is it for it to be Lovecraftian and for it to feel Lovecraftian. And it really did feel like that. There were some standout moments. There was some really good imagery and some really, like, gross body horror and stuff that you could kind of feel, just because the author was really good about, drawing you in and making you feel like you're there and you're, like, watching all this crazy stuff happen. So that was really enjoyable. There was a twist at the end that I enjoyed. Not at the end, but there were some twists in the book that I really enjoyed that I, didn't really see coming. So I did enjoy that. But yeah, there's definitely some moments in there that I'm going to think about, again, regardless of if I want to or not. So yeah. Okay, so I really enjoyed this book. I know it was a little harsh in the character development section, but I really did enjoy this book. And I think the only reason I was, or I am, I guess, kind of harsh on this book was I had such high hopes for this. I thought this was going to be my top read of the year. The cover alone is like, hello. I thought this was just going to, like, rock my world. But I mean, I did enjoy it. I did like it. I would probably give it like a 7.5 out of 10, just because there was a lot that I enjoyed, but there was also a lot of letdown. Like, and maybe that's some of my own fault, because I had such high expectations and they just weren't met. Honestly, there was like something missing in this book that I couldn't really put my finger on. Like, I'm not really sure what was missing. I just felt like something was missing. With all that being said, I did enjoy it, and I would recommend this to people who like cult books, or who like Lovecraftian stories, who like, who like the Lovecraftian, cultist type of thing, because that is exactly what you're going to get with this book. And like I said, I did enjoy it. I think the only thing is that I just had such high expectations and didn't actually meet that. So this isn't my favorite cult book. It was enjoyable and I did like it. It was really dark. It was really, I can't really say that it was super, I don't know. Like I said, there was just something missing, and I can't tell you what it is. It was just some authenticity, maybe. I'm not even sure, because maybe it was too short. I'm not really sure what it is, but there was just something missing. Like, if you read, I don't want to necessarily compare it to Nick Cutter, because it's, not the same at all, but when you read like a Nick Cutter book, and he does some like Little Heaven, it's a Lovecraftian cult book. That book was like encompassing, like you were really like in it. You felt, you know, you just felt like you were in it. The cult felt real. Everybody in it, it was like a person. And this one, it almost just felt like you were kind of just getting glimpses of it. You weren't really, I don't, it just didn't, it didn't meet my expectations. And I was really kind of disappointed. I flew through the book. I read it in 2 days. So I did enjoy it. But even though I'm just like straight up talking trash now, I did enjoy it. It's just, like I said, it was just a little bit of a letdown. But I would, give this a 7.5. I would recommend it to people who enjoy cults and Lovecraftian things. So, but I'll be done ranting now. So, but if you like this book review, if you want to check out The Yellow Sign, if you've already read it, please let me know how you felt about it in the comments. If you agreed or disagreed, I love to talk about books, even with people who don't agree with me, because I have a lady that I subscribe to on YouTube, and I'm pretty much the opposite of her. If she likes a book, I know I'm not going to like it. If I like it, I know she's not going to like it. It's not like we talk or anything, obviously, but I just know, like, for some reason, I just like to listen to someone else's point of view on something that I enjoy, just I don't know, just for fun, I guess. So, but yeah, so if you like this, let me know in the comments or and please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.